So in today's video, I'm going to be grading every single one of the 2022-23 League 2 clubs January transfer windows for obviously the 2023 winter window. Lots of transfers happened. We're going to be going through every single one of them, breaking them down, giving them a ranking from A down to D with pluses and minuses, all that sort of stuff. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 100 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. I've spent a lot of time researching all this sort of stuff, getting it in some nice fancy graphics as well, so if you could drop a like on today's video, that would be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Get your thoughts on your team transfer window down in the comment section down below. You'll know your team signings and departures much better than what I will, so make sure to get all your thoughts down below. I have used one specific website for all these transfer news. If any of it is wrong, I do apologise. I'll leave a link to the website down in the description down below, because there has been some certainly dodgy things on there. I've seen already Louis Reed from Swindon to Mansfield Town is down as a free transfer. I believe that was actually an undisclosed fee. The same with Callum Johnson to Mansfield Town. I think that was actually down as a free transfer as well. I think we also had Emmanuel Sidibe was apparently released by Bradford City in the January transfer window, which obviously didn't happen. So if anything is missed off there or something's not quite right, I do apologise, but I don't know every single statistic about every single player that has signed and departed for each club. Loan departures, contract terminations, and all that sort of stuff, I haven't included them in today's video because they were much harder to find. They weren't on this piece of information, this website that I found, so apologies about that. Apart from that, everything out of the way, let's get straight on with today's video, starting out with Rochdale. So Rochdale have obviously been a team who have struggled very much so far this season. They've made some additions, most of them have been loans. I'm impressed with the signing of Reece Bennett from Morecambe on a free transfer, but apart from that, I'm not really seeing enough quality in there, in my opinion. I think it's a really poor transfer window from Rochdale. I know they didn't really have too much money to spend and they've tried the best with the resources that they've got, but overall I'm not impressed with their signings whatsoever. I think some of their departures, like getting rid of Conor Marley and Tyrese Sinclair, I think that's a good bit of business, but overall I'm going to have to give Rochdale a D. Not a great way to start, but they've had an absolutely shocking transfer window. Moving on then into Gillingham, from one extreme to the other. Rochdale was absolutely shocking. Gillingham, who are currently one place above Rochdale in the table, have had an absolutely unbelievable window. Tom Nichols from relegation rival Crawley Town fought an undisclosed fee. Tim DeYeng from Exeter City, I think, is a fantastic signing, fought an undisclosed fee. Ollie Hawkins and George Lapsley as well, double swoop from Mansfield Town. I think that's two brilliant pieces of business. Even Aidan O'Brien on loan from Shrewsbury Town, if you can keep him fit, I think that will be a very good signing for them. I'm not too sure about the signing of Tristan Abrams on loan from Eastleigh. Apart from that, only the one departure, Mikhail Mandron, going to Motherwell. If the sign says a pound sign then a question mark, that's because I don't know if it's a free transfer or undisclosed fee. It didn't really say what it was, it just said the transfer was unknown, so I'm not really too sure what has gone on there. But overall for me, I think Gillingham have had an absolutely fantastic window, so I'm going to have to give them an A. Moving in then into Hartlepool, again a team fighting relegation at this moment in time. They had some business to do. They've certainly brought in a lot of loan players. That's 2, 4, 6, 7 loan players coming in this transfer window. They've also sent a player out on loan as well. I like the signing of Matt Dolan from Newport County, brings some experience into that midfield, can also play centre half. Dan Kemp, Brendan Kieran, Connor Jennings, they're okay signings, nothing really too fancy there. I don't think they've spent any money apart from on these two players from non-league, Daniel Dodds and Edon Pruti. Apologies if I have pronounced their names wrong, but they look like some good upcoming young players. Overall though, for me, I think Hartlepool have gone for the quantity rather than the quality in terms of their signings. Again, similar to Rochdale, I'm not impressed with this one whatsoever. I'm going to give them a D+. I don't think it's quite as bad as Rochdale's, but overall it's an absolutely shocking window in my opinion from Hartlepool. I know that, again, they've probably not got the biggest budgets, the most money to spend like Gillingham and also Colchester, who we'll get on to later on in today's video, but in my opinion I think they could have used that loan market a little bit better. Moving in then into Crawley Town. Crawley was an interesting one for me because they brought in Ben Gladwin on a free transfer from Swindon Town. Jack Rolls as well from Woking. I'm excited to see how he gets on. Kellan Gordon as well from Mansfield Town. I think he's a steady player at this level. Will certainly give them some depth in outright back. They've not really lost anyone too significant apart from Tom Nichols. I don't know why they sold him to a relegation rival in Gillingham. Obviously at the end of the season, with the way Gillingham have recruited, they could genuinely finish mid-table, even have an outside chance of the playoffs in my opinion. But overall for me, I don't think overall Crawley are weaker. I don't think they're stronger. I'm just going to have to give them middle of the range. I'm going going to give Crawley Town a C. Moving in then to Harrogate Town, I'm being fairly impressed with some of their signings so far. Well, I say so far, the window is obviously now closed. Anthony O'Connor on a free transfer from Morecambe, obviously formerly a Bradford City player. I think that's a very good signing for this level. Levi Sutton for an undisclosed fee from Bradford City. I think that's a very, very good piece of business in my opinion. Matty Folds as well on loan from Bradford City. I think he's a steady League 2 player. Tom Eastman as well on loan from Colchester United. I think that's another decent defensive improvement. They're not really lost anyone too significant as well. Overall for me, I think Harrogate have had a good window. I'm going to give them a B+. Into Newport County then, they've not really done too much business. Couple loan players in, couple loan players out. A permanent transfer though of Harry Charlesley from Port Vale. I do think that is a very nice signing in my opinion for an undisclosed fee. Losing Matt Dolan as well to Hartlepool United. I actually thought he was their captain, so I don't really understand that one all too much. But overall for me, I think Newport, similar to Crawley, not really too much stronger than what they were at the start of the window. Not really too much weaker either. I'm going to give them middle of the range C in my opinion. Moving in then to Crewe Alexandra. They've made the signing of Elliot Nevitt from Tranmere Rovers. I actually quite like him. Every time with Bradford City have played against him, I do think he has caused us some problems. David Amu as well on a free transfer from Stevenage. I think overall they're probably slightly stronger than what they were going into the window. I don't think they've made any departures as well, or certainly none of any significance. Overall for Crewe, I'm going to give them a C+. Moving in then to Colchester United. I think they're up there with Gillingham and one of the teams that have had a better window overall. Arthur Reed from Stevenage, I do like that signing for an undisclosed fee. Connor Hall as well on an undisclosed fee from Port Vale. I think that's a very, very good signing. Matt J as well from Exeter City for an undisclosed fee. I think that's a very, very nice piece of business from the U's. I also think Tom Hopper on an undisclosed fee from Lincoln City. While he might potentially be past his better years, I do still think he'll be a very, very good player at this level. Fika Keller as well gives some depth in at centre half on an undisclosed fee from Bradford City. Connor Wood, if he can find some of his form from 3, 4, 5 years ago in his first couple of seasons with Bradford City, I think he could be a very good signing. Not really lost anyone of too much significance either. Get some wages off that wage bill in Clamping, Eastman and Hannah, who have all left the club on loan. Two of them players going to Dundee. Overall for me, I think Colchester have had a very, very good window and I'm going to give them an A. Into Grimsby Town, then not too much business from Grimsby. Two loan players coming in and Josh Emmanuel coming in on a permanent basis for an undisclosed fee from Hull City. I think George Lloyd could be a decent player at this level. I know he had a pretty decent debut, but overall for me, Grimsby, I think they're slightly stronger than what they were going into the window. Maybe could have done with another striker. So overall for Grimsby Town, I'm going to give them a C+. Into Doncaster Rovers then, while I know a lot of their fans are not happy with how their window went, because obviously they didn't really spend any money at all. I think 4 loans and 1 permanent transfer, but only coming in on a free transfer as well. No, their fans are obviously not very happy. The money for Kyle Noyle, I think that's a big loss for them, and they've not really reinvested that money at all, so I do think that is a big loss for them. While they weren't big fans of Adam Clayton, from the 2 games that I've seen him playing a Bradford City shirt, I think he looks absolutely unreal in my opinion. So from obviously different players suit different systems and all that sort of stuff, but as of right now I do think that is a big loss for Doncaster Rovers. Like I say though, they personally didn't really rate him. Keelan Lavery as well on a free transfer from Scunthorpe. He's done pretty decent there on the few months that he's really been there. Obviously, he was with my team Bradford City last season and shown signs of promise, but was never really going to be good enough to play for us. Anything's really an improvement on George Miller. Couple of lone players in there as well. Charlie Lakin from Burton. I think he could be a steady player at this level. Overall, though, for me, Doncaster I think are slightly weaker than what they were going into the window, so I'm going to have to give them a C-. Next up then is Tranmere Rovers. They've brought in Brad Walker from Port Vale. Harvey Saunders from Bristol Rovers I think is a very nice signing for an undisclosed fee. Couple of lone players in there as well. Lost a couple of players like Ross Duan, to Forest Green Rovers, but I know their fans weren't a big fan of him at all. Lost Neil Byrne as well to Stockport County. Elliot Nevitt as well going to Crewe Alexandra. Lots of players going out the door for undisclosed fee. Only 1 or 2 players coming in for money paid. I'm sure their fans have not really been too happy with their owners at this moment in time, you know, not really spending too much money, and I don't blame them. To be honest with you, I think overall, again, not really too much weaker, not really too much stronger. I'm going to have to go middle of the range and give Tranmere Rovers a C for their window. Walsall, I think, have had a very impressive window, though, in my opinion. The only departure being Brandon Kiernan on loan to Hartlepool United, but some of their signings, absolutely unbelievable. Think about the amount of goals Jamil Matt and Matt Stevens scored over the last couple of seasons for Forest Green Rovers. Matt on a permanent basis, Matt Stevens in on loan for the remainder of the campaign. I think that's 2 absolutely unbelievable pieces of business, and while the rest of their transfer business is decent, but nothing really too impressive in my opinion, I think them 2 alone are absolutely incredible signings. Jan Songo as well from Bradford City. I'm a big fan of Jan Songo, and a lot of Bradford City fans were fans of Jan Songo. you know, the commitment that he gives. If we'd have had him for the last 10 minutes against Mansfield Town, we comfortably win that game, but unfortunately, the higher-ups at Bradford City disagree with me and probably a lot of the fans on that one. Overall, though, for Walsall, the two signings of Jamil Matt and Matt Stevens give them a real chance of the playoffs this season. I'm going to have to give them an A. Absolutely unbelievable pieces of business, in my opinion. Moving in then to AFC Wimbledon, obviously the loss of Ayub Assal is a significant one. According to the website that I got the information off of, apparently he's gone on a free transfer. Wimbledon fans, you have to let me know down in the comment section down below, because I personally thought it was an undisclosed fee, but I'm not really too sure there. In terms of their incomings, I don't really know anything about any of them, to be honest with you, apart from Dialang Jayasimi. He obviously did decent at Swindon, but his time at Charlton has been absolutely horrendous. I don't know anything about any of the other players, so overall for me, I'm going to put them at a C-. I do think Assal is obviously a very, very significant loss, especially if they got no money for him. If they did get some money from him, obviously they haven't really reinvested that, in my opinion, so overall I'm going to give Wimbledon a C-. Next up then is Sutton United. I think getting David Ajiboye back on loan from Peterborough United for the remainder of the campaign is a brilliant piece of business. If he can refine some of his form over the last year, 2 years he had with Sutton United, I think that could be a very, very big coup for them. Lee Angle as well for an undisclosed fee from Bradford City. I do think that is a very nice piece of business there. Apart from that, I don't know anything about any of their signings or any of their departures, but I would say overall their squad is probably stronger than what it was at the start of the window, especially with that signing of Ajiboye. I think it's a very, very nice piece of business. Overall for me though, I'm going to give Sutton United a B flat. Moving in then to Barrow AFC, getting Elliot Newby in for an undisclosed fee from Stockport County. I think that's a very nice piece of business. Jake Young as well from Bradford City showed bright sparks and good glimpses at the start of the campaign, so I do think that is a good sign. I don't think he's played a minute though yet for Barrow. Featured on the bench a couple of times, but I think he's still yet to get on that pitch. Jed Garner as well from Fleetwood Town, goal scorer. I'll be interested to see how well he does there. Losing Joe Grayson as well, I thought that was quite an interesting one in my opinion. Gone to Stockport County, so it seems a bit of an upgrade for him. Maybe he's gone there to be a backup. I think they actually lost Stockport lost their left back on deadline day, so maybe that does make a little bit of sense. But overall for me, I think Barrow is stronger than what they were going into the window, so I'm going to have to give them a B+. Next up then is my team, Bradford City. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, no loan departures or loans being recalled feature in this, but obviously the loss of Tyreek Wright was a significant one. We also saw players like Lee Angle go to Sutton United, Levi Sutton go to Harrogate Town, Vika Kelleher go to Colchester United, Matty Folds leave on loan to Harrogate, Jan Songo leave on loan to Walsall, and Jake Young leave on loan to Barrow. So lots of departures meant that obviously we had to have a lot of signings. Thierry Nevers on loan from West Ham has showed some bright sparks, but at the same time he's not really shown enough yet. Granted, he hasn't really had too many minutes, to be honest with you. Dara Costello from Burnley looks like an absolutely dreadful piece of business. He's absolutely shocking. The two games that I've seen him play, I think he's been subbed off from both games after an hour, and the guy's hardly touched the ball. When he has, he's giving it away. He looks a yard or two off the pace. It looks like an absolutely dreadful signing, in my opinion. Certainly nowhere near the level of Tyreek Wright. Talaji Bolo on debut against Stockport County was horrendous, but then in the recent game against Mansfield, I thought he had a shaky 10-15 minutes. After that, he was really, really good. Saved a certain goal as well with a goal line clearance, and as the game went on, I certainly do think he looks much better and much better. If he keeps developing, keeps progressing like that, I do think that could be a good signing. Sam Stubbs from a free transfer from Exeter City. I think if you can keep him fit, I think he will be a very good signing. Adam Clayton from Doncaster on a free transfer, I think looks absolutely unreal. Was decent in the game against Stockport, but his performance against Mansfield was absolutely unbelievable. The guy absolutely bossed that midfield pretty much on his own. While he had the help from Gilead and East, who both had very, very good games, and Jamie Walker in that number 10 role, Adam Clayton at the base of the diamond was absolutely brilliant. I can only give him so much praise because the guy was absolutely unreal. Matt Derbyshire as well on a free transfer from North East United. I'm not sure many other League 2 clubs are signing players from the Indian First Division, but I think Derbyshire in the 20 minutes or so, something like that. He's a little cameo against Stockport. Show good glimpses, but is he better than Lee Angle? I'm not really too sure. I think he's more coming for his experience. And finally, Kieran Kelly on a free transfer from Bohemians as well after his contract with the Irish side had expired. I think, well, we've not seen him play, so I can't really comment on that. Overall, though, as of right now, I think our squad's slightly weaker. Obviously, the loss of Tyreek Wright is a big significant one. Replacing him with players like Dara Costello, I just think our squad, as of right now, is slightly weaker. While we've improved in some areas, like I think Clayton is better than Levi Sutton, I think overall we're slightly weaker, so I'm going to have to go with a C- in my opinion. Moving in then to Swindon Town, obviously they did complete the signing of Charlie Austin. I want to say it was the day before New Year's Day as well, on a free transfer from Brisbane Roar. He returns there after many years away from the football club, already got a decent amount of goals as well. Joe Tomlinson on loan from Peterborough United, I think that is a very nice piece of business. Jake Kane as well on an undisclosed fee from Liverpool, don't really know too much about him. Is he going to be as good as Louis Reed, who has joined Mansfield Town on a permanent permanent basis, I think that's a significant loss for Swindon. I think overall, their squad's probably slightly stronger just because of that signing of Charlie Austin, obviously losing Ben Gladwin and Angus MacDonald as well. I don't think they're really two significant losses. Overall for me though, I'm going to give Swindon Town a C+, just I think their squad is slightly stronger. I think that signing of Charlie Austin is a big one. Into Stockport County then, I think they've had a very, very good transfer window. Isaac Oluwafe from an undisclosed fee from Millwall. I think that's gone quite under the radar. I don't really know if he's been playing or what the case is. I don't think he played against Bradford City, but I actually think that's a very, very good signing. I was impressed with what I saw from him last season at Sutton United, and I think that could be a very good signing for Stockport. Neil Byrne as well from Tranmere Rovers. Not only does it strengthen them, it weakens a potential playoff rival, and the same can be said about Kyle Noyle as well, coming in on an undisclosed fee from Doncaster Rovers. Strengthens them, weakens Doncaster. It's a win-win for them. Jack Stretton as well had a decent first half of the season with Carlisle. Obviously now we'll spend the remainder of the campaign with Stockport, and I'll be interested to see how he does get on there. No real significant departures apart from Ollie Crankshaw, who's gone to Yes She's Fine thanks on loan for the remainder of the campaign, and Elliot Newby has gone to Barrow, but they've got a nice fee for him there. Overall, I think Stockport's squad is considerably stronger than what it was at the start of the window. I'm going to have to give them an A-. Moving in then to Mansfield Town, 3 players coming in, 3 players going out. Johnson, in my opinion, is miles better than Kellan Gordon. Louis Reed and George Lapsley, while they're different sort of players, I personally would slightly edge Louis Reed to George Lapsley, and Keeler Dunn and Ollie Hawkins are very, very different players. Keeler Dunn's more of a second striker, whereas Ollie Hawkins is a centre-half / striker. Very, very different. Obviously, Ollie Hawkins is about 6'54", whereas Keeler Dunn is very good actually playing football rather than just being a very tall lamppost. Overall, though, for me, I think Mansfield's squad is stronger than what it was at the start of the window. Obviously, same amount of numbers. They've got quite a small squad, but the average age of that squad has come considerably down now as well, with obviously the departure of Ollie Hawkins. Overall, for me, though, I'm going to have to give Mansfield Town a B-. Let me know down in the comment section down below, Stags fans, what are your thoughts on your business throughout the January transfer window. Salford City up next, and now I didn't actually know this has happened until I've seen it, obviously, on this website. Callum Morton joined on a permanent basis from Fleetwood Town. I think that's a very nice sign. Obviously, this season hasn't really worked out for him. He spent the first half of the season last year with Fleetwood Town, then went out on loan to Peterborough, where he didn't really get a sniff. This season has really struggled for form at Fleetwood Town, and he's gone to Salford City on a permanent basis. Shane McLaughlin as well from Morecambe. I don't really know too much about him, but seems to bring a bit of experience to the side. Alex Cairns on loan from Fleetwood came out of absolutely nowhere. Louis Barry's not a player that I rate at all. Tom King obviously departed the club on a permanent transfer, on a free transfer as well to Northampton Town. I thought it was a really, really interesting piece of business. Overall, though, for me, I think Salford's squad is considerably stronger than what it was at the start of the window, but not amazingly. Obviously, they brought in some more numbers, but I do think it is certainly stronger in my opinion. I'm going to have to give the Ammies a B-. Moving in then to Northampton Town, not really too much business from them. Couple loan players, and also bringing in William Hondermark on a permanent undisclosed fee from Barnsley. Don't really know anything about him, to be honest with you. Losing a youngster as well, out on loan. Overall, for me, like I said, I don't really know too much about them, so I can't comment all too much, but I think their squad probably is slightly stronger. Obviously, more options, more depth, so I'm going to have to give them a C+. If you haven't already worked out by now, I am doing these teams based on the reverse league table at this moment in time. So 3 teams to go then. Obviously, that does leave Carlisle United to come up next. Joe Garner returning to the football club for an undisclosed fee from Fleetwood Town. I think that's a very nice piece of business. Alfie McCalman, Jack Robinson, and John Kaimani Gordon all coming on loan as well from Middlesbrough, Leeds and Crystal Palace respectively. I think that's some very nice piece of business there from Carlisle. Not lost anyone as well, which is big news for them. They had some players who were linked with moves away, like Owen Moxon and players like that. Christian Dennis as well, experienced goal scorer at this level. For me personally, I think Carlisle's team is significantly stronger than what it was at the start of the window. I'm going to have to give them a B+. Moving in then to Stevenage, I think again they've had a very, very impressive window under Steve Evans. Jake Forster-Caskey on an undisclosed fee from Charlton Athletic. If you can keep him fit, he'll be one of the best midfielders in this league. Josh March as well coming in on an undisclosed fee from Forest Green Rovers. Didn't really get too much of a look in while at Forest Green, but I think he could do a decent job with Stevenage. Bringing in Anderson as well on loan. Josh Reed from Coventry City. They did lose 2 players though. Arthur Reed, I actually quite liked Arthur Reed with his time at Stevenage, but Steve Evans did decide to move him on to Colchester United. Got an undisclosed fee as well for him, and obviously David Amu has also joined on to Crewe Alexandra. Overall for me though, again I think their squad is definitely stronger than what it was at the start of the campaign, so I'm going to have to give them a B. And the final team on this list is Leyton Orient, bringing in 3 players in on loan. Kieran Sadlier, experienced winger. Ed Turns coming in from Brighton, and Jamie McCart coming in from Rotherham United. Very impressed with that signing. Just the 2 departures as well for Leyton Orient. Ethan Coleman going to Gillingham for an undisclosed fee, and also Connor Wood leaving the club. He went out on loan to Colchester for the remainder of the campaign. Overall for me, I'm going to have to give Leyton Orient a B-. I think that leaves 3 teams who got straight A's. No one got an A+. Obviously Stockport did get an A-. I'm just going to have a quick look at the teams who did get get an A. Walsall got an A, obviously 2 very good signings in Jamil Matt and Matt Stevens. Colchester also getting an A, but for me personally, the team who had the best transfer window, I'm going to have to give it to Gillingham. Some of their business is absolutely unreal. Dieng, Hawkins, Lapsley, very, very impressed with some of their signings. So let me know down in the comment section down below, out of all them teams, which do you think had the best transfer window? Obviously, apologies again if I have missed any out. I'm sure you have already given me the abuse down in the comment section down below for getting them wrong, so I do apologise. But thank you very much for watching today's video. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 100 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, that'd be absolutely class. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already, with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Don't forget as well to get your thoughts down in the comment section down below on your teams at January transfer business. Even if you're not a fan of a League 2 club, let me know who you support and what your thoughts are on your business. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I shall see you all very soon for another video. Peace.